The KV-2 is one of the weirdest looking tanks in World of Tanks Blitz, and it's a vehicle that also needs really no introduction on my YouTube channel. If you are unfamiliar with this tank, I'll give you a pass if you're new to the game because you might not know all about the tanks yet. However, if you've been playing this game for any prolonged amount of time and you do not know what the KV-2 is or what it's famous for, you've been living under a rock. So, in today's video, I will be enlightening all of you on the KV-2, its playstyle, and is it still meta in World of Tanks Blitz? A lot of people like to say the KV-2 is no longer good. However, I actually like to sometimes disagree with that. Obviously, this is a very RNG dependent tank. You could have a fantastic battle in this vehicle one day, and then the next battle you play completely terrible because all of your shells miss. But regarding the actual gun itself, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's a 152mm armament, and what that means is you're dealing 640 damage down at tier 6. That means against tier 5s, like the KV-1 here that's sitting at 680 health, just a slightly high roll on your AP is enough to one-shot a tier 5 tank, and that's even without shooting your 84mm of pen high explosive rounds with 960 average damage. Now, the HE on this tank is pretty ridiculous. It was nerfed by 10mm, and that was the nerf that kind of put the final notch in a lot of people's opinions for this tank sucking. In my personal opinion, the HE's still fine. If you're running calibrated shells, 84mm, I mean, a KV-1S is a tier 6 heavy tank, and this vehicle's side armor, as you can see, is 65mm thick. If we get up really any tier 6, any medium, any tank destroyer, any light is never going to have more than 84mm. That just makes sense. And really the only vehicles that might stand a chance of not being HE penned on the sides are vehicles like the Churchill 7, which have 95mm of side armor, but that at that point, you're not going to pen it anyway. It's all spaced armor. So the KV-2, I really don't understand why people say the HE nerf ruined the tank when whatever you were going to pen before with HE, you are most likely going to pen now as it is. And when you still pen it, I mean, you do have the potential to one-shot an enemy tank. However, the AP pen is absolutely horrendous, and because the shell velocity is so slow, it does tend to miss a lot. I can tell you a numerous amount of times when I shoot a shell at the enemy and it just dips right into the tracks, loses all of its kinetic energy there, and doesn't actually end up doing anything to the hull. Here we are in our first match. Not a bad match at all. We're up against a couple tier 5s, being the KV-1, a Leopard, a Studitz, Vong M42, and a T-34. Hellcat, I mean, that's an easy HE every day. The ARL we can get the side of if we get some decent angles. And yeah, AT8, not even going to bother. Just going to shoot HE at it, deal like 300 damage. And that's one actual great thing about the KV-2, is you don't need to pen your shells. This tank shoots a big HE shell. Your 960 damage, if you don't pen, still deals like 350 on average. I mean, this is tier 6. You can be in an E100 at tier 10. In fact, I did a video where I only shot HE shells in at tier 10 with my E100, and I did like 4,000 or 5,000 damage. You don't need to really do much penetrating when you're dealing 300 to 400 damage with an HE shell. If you can just get 5, 6 HE shells just slapped on the enemy in one game, I mean, that's basically their entire battle. So that Leopard, yeah, chances of hitting him are basically 0, so I'm not even going to bother. We're just going to drive up on into position. The enemy team, heavy-wise, they got that KV-1, the ARL. The ARL's already spotted, so that's good news, and I want to make my way, hopefully, somewhere aggressive, because you're not going to hit many shells in the KV-2 unless you're at least a decent distance from your enemies, like 100 meters. You're not going to hit much, but there we go, our first contender, a T-34. Hello, good sir. And even though we did not penetrate our high explosive shell, as you saw, that was 388 damage. That's like a really big chunk of damage for any other vehicle in tier 6, so I'm not going to complain. That's half of a tier 5, and we lost nothing for it. So again, just going to reload, and we got the KV-1 spotted now, which is very nice. If that T-34 ends up poking, I mean, the guy's a one-shot, and this ARL, well, this guy is an easy kill as it is. So I'm just going to drive and act like I'm a doofus, and this ARL, well, yeah. I don't really know why he poked that, but this is tier 6. And when you're in tier 6, there are enemies that are not very smart, which makes sense. Unfortunately, we are getting tapped by that Leopard a bit, but that's to be expected. Let's just reload here. 8 more seconds left, and then we should be all good. Gotta be careful, though. I don't want to be hit by that enemy T-34, so, what am I going to do? Well, we got the T-34, and as you can see, he is aiming at me, but let's just load in an HE, and perfect! He's dead! I mean, again, that's just what HE does in this tank. You don't need the pen a shell when your HE can do the work for you. This AT, clearly, he's, yeah, I don't really know what to say. He's just having a fun time, folks. So I'm just going to drive, and we're going to see if we can get behind him here. Come on, speed is key. Let us keep going. And, well, I actually can HE him right there. There we go, 855 damage, and we back in the cover. So this was our first game in the KV2, and this was a perfect example to showcase why it is such a crazy tank. In Tier 6, your opponents are not the most skilled, and that's not just, you know, me making that up. I mean, you can clearly see this is a Tier 6 battle. This is my KV1. I mean, you can see the guy just taking like 8 years to aim at this. Yeah, you will have a lot of easier shots in Tier 6 than you will against opponents in Tier 10. That just makes sense. So when you're in a KV2 and you make those shots really, really count, oh, it's so fun. So we got the Hellcat, and yeet! Oh, we did 43. I mean, we at least damaged him. We missed the shell, and because we have so much HE potential damage, this splash still damaged him. But yeah, I mean, I'll take 2,400 or 2,200 damage this game. Not bad. We made 46,000 credits, although I am running permanently enrichments on this vehicle, so it's a little bit of a different story. But not bad for our first game. Here we are in a second one, again, up against Tier 5s. We got a Shinobi, T-34 shielded. And I will say, on the case of the T-34 shielded, you don't want to shoot HE at it, at least frontally, unless you want to, you know, like, take it just 300 damage off it, because you're not going to pen it. It's covered in spaced armor on the front and the sides. So it's better off just to shoot an AP or a premium AP and take 500, 600 off of it. When it comes to the other vehicles, the Crusader, easy HE, Panzer 4G, high explosive, Shinobi, yep. M36, that will be an HE as well, because that's just a Jackson. When it comes to the AT-8, though, and the VK36, those guys are going to be a bit trickier. I might not even be able to pen the VK36 with my standard or premium. I might have to just shoot a slap of HE at him. But either way, I am in position. I have an HE shell loaded. And one crazy thing about the KV2 is I'm so tall, I can actually see over these fences. Normally, you can't do that. But this tank's just kind of crazy in that aspect. So, what is the enemy going to do? That is the big question, because I don't really have support here, apart from my AFK teammate, so I'm all alone. There's 3 tanks spotted over there so far, and I'm going to make a stupid move. I'm going to drive it forwards. I don't know how this is going to work out, but it looks like nobody's here, so I'm going to drive up this hill, and now we are the KVSU-152, this sniping beast. I don't know how this is going to work out, but it's going to take me a while to get anywhere else. Oh, look, we have an AT-8 spotted, folks. How about we just aim it on that? Load it in the HE, and boom! It missed. Okay, well, we're going to back up then. 87 damage. That would be a Crusader, most likely camping somewhere in the back. So, hey, look, my S-35's here. All right, that AT-8, I don't know what he's doing, but he's coming. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. I guess we're going to go teach him a lesson or something. I'm just going to drive towards him, and we're going to find out. Alright, so we got the Panzer G off to the side. Would I shoot a shell at him? You know what? It'd be kind of funny if we hit him across the map, wouldn't it? Well, I guess we're not going to hit him across the map. We do got the VK, but really, this is just a waste of my time. We're just going to shoot an HE shell at the AT and try and take a decent chunk off of his vehicle, aiming, and boom! There you go! 465 damage. I mean, that's a non-penning shell. And we took off over about half of his hit points. So again, we're just going to reload. 8 more seconds left. And this guy, I mean, he's really not enjoying my company. So he does 180 damage or something like that a shell. And my Wolverine's aiming at his rear, so what we're going to do is we're just going to drive right out in the open. We're going to aim in a shell right there, and boom, 364. And my Wolverine somehow bounced that, but that's fine. We're just going to drive over here. Hopefully my Wolverine will do something. If not, I'm going to lose a bunch of health, but there you go. Nice job, Wolverine. And I'm going to continue driving up into position. So we got the Shinobi, we got the Crusader, and the VK36. I'm going to drive, and speed is key. This Wolverine is stupid. I don't even know what he's saying in chat. But either way, I'm not going to worry about it, because it's not my thing to worry about. We got the Shinobi here. I could have snapped the shell, but it's a KV2. I mean, if you snap a shot like that and you expect it to hit, yeah, you're some sort of shrooms you're on. Either way, we got the VK36 all the way off to the side. I can't hit the Shinobi yet. I need to definitely get a shell out here, though, very soon. So, oh, we got the Crusader, and, well, we had the Crusader. Sorry, misspoke there. Yeah. This tank is just so fun. So we got the shielded off to the side. He's 23 health. Do I want to waste a shell on that? Nah, not really. We're going to go for the VK36. Maybe we can get a nice little tap into that guy, but we're going to find out, right? So here's the VK, and speed is key. Let us go. New. And hello, VK. How are you doing, good sir? And let me just aim in. Do we need a premium shell? Nah, we're just going to fire standard AP. I obviously wanted to make sure I aimed it in a bit, but there you go. There went a half health tier 6 heavy. This is the KV2. It's a crazy tank. If you can get your shells to do anything, it's going to hurt. I mean, you don't need to pen your shots for this to be a good tank. It really is a fantastic vehicle. I super love it. That was not English. I super love it. Ah, yes. Either way, there you go. That's the KV2, folks. Super fun tank, and if you can make it works fantastically. I mean, I played a couple games in the tank today, as you'll see, and some of them went pretty well. I mean, the game on Fort Despair was a 2,285 damage game, and even though the Rockfield game was not a victory, we still dealt 2,400 even against Tier 7 tanks. The KV2 by no means is a bad vehicle. 2,800 in this game, and this was the only game I did bad in, but we still won. So, yeah, the KV2 is a great tank. I mean, if you can get your shells to pen, I don't even think it's RNG dependent. I mean, these games here, you clearly saw, I made sure that I was close enough and I aimed in my shells enough that my RNG just didn't matter. And for the tanks that the RNG would have mattered, that had armor, I made sure I would just shoot HE at them. I love this tank. It's always been fun. Hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.